From tweed jackets and penny loafers to studying at Oxford University, reading classic books and walking in a rainy cobblestone street, today we are exploring the fashion and the lifestyle of the dark academia aesthetic. So picture it, we are in 2020. The world is in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. And because of lockdown, the reality of most students around the world is attending online classes on Zoom calls, having little to no social life, stuck at home with the feeling of making no meaningful progress in life and their studies. And whenever frustration is felt, we tend to fantasize about another life. And the opposite of online Zoom classes is studying at Edinburgh University. The opposite of wearing pajamas every day is to wear a shirt, tailored trousers and leather shoes. And the opposite of isolation is being part of a philosophy club or visiting a local bookstore with friends. Google searches for dark academia exploded after 2020, with creators from YouTube, Instagram and TikTok sharing content about dark academia fashion, books, music and lifestyle. And with a search for quality and elegance, many people turn towards dark academia to escape their reality and bring more depth and substance to their lives. So whilst the interest for the dark academia aesthetic is fairly recent, works of fiction perfectly representing it have been around for much longer, with movies like Dead Poets Society, Good Will Hunting, in some ways Harry Potter, Kill Your Darlings, or the Tolkien biopic. These movies illustrate different aspects of this genre and, more importantly, the aesthetic. Now let's talk about the main thing, how to dress dark academia. The color palette is clearly dark, warm and muted, with colors like dark brown, black, charcoal, cream, oxblood, forest green, navy, camel and muted grey. This is why this style is especially great for winter and autumn. Fabric and texture is key here. We have our tweed, which is kind of the signature fabric of the aesthetic. It's rough, textured, very British looking. We've got wool for coats, trousers, knitwear, corduroy as well for more casual but still academic coded pieces. And finally leather, which is great for accessories like shoes, belts, bags, and we prefer it with a worn-in patina over a polished new leather. Now let's see our main pieces for the aesthetic. For outerwear, we're gonna have our tweed jackets and sports coats, wool long coats and trench coats for rainy weather. For tops, we'll have our cable knits, turtlenecks, cardigans and button-up shirts, which works particularly well underneath the aforementioned pieces. For bottoms, we'll have our high-waisted pleated trousers. We have a focus on wool and tweed trousers, and also dress pants will work well overall. For shoes, we'll have loafers, derbies, Oxfords, Chelsea boots, and brogues can work as well if you use them correctly. Patterns is just as important as color and fabrics, and some patterns like houndstooth, plaid or subtle geometric prints can really add something to the outfit. Herringbone on blazers and coats is quintessential to the style as well. And for accessories, we'll have our leather bags, classic dress watch, vintage silver glasses or tortoise shell glasses as well, and scarves work really well for the colder month as well. Now I have some personal observation to share with you. While some pieces are still very classic and formal, I find that the shapes, the cuts and the fabrics usually tone it down a bit, and it gives it something less sharp, less structured and a bit more casual. So it looks comfortable, something that you can live in, lay on the grass with, and not something you want to take off as soon as you get home. I also find that this style is a very easy one to buy in thrift store or secondhand on Vinted, because it's all about classic pieces that have been worn in, and secondhand offer both the quality and the price. And this is personally a style that I tend to lean towards, as I said, in autumn and winter. And it's not a style you necessarily have to wear all year around. You don't need to commit to it 100%, but you can take inspiration from it, build outfits around the aesthetic, borrow a few pieces and make it your own. With all that done, let's talk a bit about the dark academia lifestyle. As I said earlier, it's not only about the way you dress. but also the lifestyle that is associated with this aesthetic. So I would love to explore some key elements and habits from this aesthetic that you could pick up and incorporate into your lifestyle. The first one that is very important to me is reading. Books are a big part of the aesthetic. It can be classic novels, philosophy, or history books, books that you read for knowledge and culture. Another thing is writing. Not only taking notes for your studies, but writing in a journal, writing letters, or even writing a book or an essay, something creative or academic. Another important thing is art. Music, poetry, sculpture, painting, an appreciation for the depth of art and looking for the message that the artist is trying to convey is a big part of dark academia. Another one, tea and coffee. I know it's a bit specific, yet it's still a very recurring element, a key part of the aesthetic, whether it's drinking from vintage cups, reading a book in a cafe, having a French press on your desk during a big study session. But I think it goes beyond purely the aesthetic side of it. I think there is an appreciation for the product, and this could be extended to wines and spirits, drinks that you can explore in a more profound way than you would for drinks like sodas, for instance. And some other elements that you see around on Pinterest whenever you type dark academia is going to be chessboards, vintage maps, typewriters, very analog thing, classic, traditional, with an intellectual tone underneath. But aside from these specific points, the central aspect is a search for quality, elegance, intellectual things, learning, and appreciating authenticity. Again, becoming a clone or cosplaying as a Cambridge student is not going to help you much. The goal here is to learn about the aesthetic, see what resonates with you, and look for ways to incorporate certain elements into your own personal style. Don't wear things you don't like. Don't pretend to be passionate about classic literature if you're not. But chances are that if you like the fashion, you will like the associated lifestyle and vice versa. Let me know in the comments which aesthetic you would like to see next. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.